Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us at the ARC of Fort Bend County's Parent Education and Support Group meeting today. My name is Carrie Axtell, and I'm the Advocacy and Youth Programs Director here at the ARC of Fort Bend. We're a nonprofit organization dedicated to grassroots advocacy, family support, and we provide a wide range of social and recreational programs from youth, teens, all the way throughout adulthood for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So if you'd like to know more about what we do here at the ARC and our programs, please visit our website at arcoffortbend.org. And you can also follow us on our social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram and pretty active on our social media channels there. But again, thanks for joining us here. We're excited about this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you're shy and you want to put it in the chat box, I will monitor the chat box. I'll be happy to ask those questions for you. But we will go ahead and I will introduce our presenter today, Tanya Davis with Baylor University, and she's going to share about the family care program, which empowers parents of children with autism spectrum disorder. And she's going to just share about the resources that are available to you as a family. So thanks for being here, Tanya.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just confirm. You guys can see the full screen slide, not the notes version. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I've got two screens here, and that's sometimes I share the wrong one and think I've shared the right one. So, well, thank you so much for hosting us. I'm here to tell you a little bit about a project that we have available to parents. The title of the project is Family Care, which stands for Family Compassionately and Attentively Rendering Evidence-Based Practices. Um, a little bit about me. I am a professor at Baylor University. I am the director of our special education program, where we prepare future special educators. And I'm also the director of our applied behavior analysis program at the graduate level, where we're preparing behavior analysts to become board certified behavior analysts and go into the field. So all of my work is centered around supporting children with intellectual developmental disabilities. And I've been lucky enough to been funded through some grants to do some really great projects with families in Texas. Brianna Sands is with us, who is our full-time research associate, and I'll let her introduce herself very quickly as well, so you know who all's here.
Yes, so that is me. I'm the research associate, and previous to family care, I've worked on grant funded work, similar type of work with children and helping siblings work with their siblings with autism. So I've done this line of work before, but I basically help get in contact with families and get to know their availability if they choose to go the route that involves more virtual coaching. So I keep in contact with them. I reach out to different organizations in Texas, either to ask to partner with them or to work with them physically so that we can have our presentation, in person, and we explore options to see what we can do together, how we can work together, and get a program going in different cities in Texas.
You're still on mute, Tanya.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot I muted myself when Brianna was talking. So to get started, just a little bit about the project. So the project's funded by a grant through the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. The purpose of the project is to provide parents of children with autism high quality training and coaching that they can implement into their homes during their daily routines. Um, so because we are funded by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, that allows us to provide this program completely free of cost to all the families that we serve. So I kind of set this up like, why are we doing this and how are we doing this? So the why starts with recognizing that parents of children with autism have higher rates of parental stress than any other group of people, higher than parents of children who are neurotypical and higher than parents of children with any other disability or diagnosis. So we recognize that parenting is stressful in any situation, but when you're parenting a child with autism, that stress is increased. And so we wanted to be able to help and support. And research shows that two things are really helpful in reducing that stress level for parents. One are formal supports. And so those mean like therapies that your child may benefit from, receiving special education. Those are sort of supports from professionals. And a number of those are very supportive. The problem is not all families can access those. Perhaps they just simply don't have the time. May have multiple children who have multiple needs, and being able to incorporate formal supports is just not feasible for that family. They may have the time, but don't have the financial ability. Those things can the cost can become very overwhelming and prohibitive for several families. And sometimes it's related just to accessibility, particularly our families who are in more rural areas don't have as many resources or formal supports to access as those who may live in more urban settings. We also know that informal supports are really helpful to parents of children with autism, and those are getting to know other families. So having mom friends, dad friends that are in, particularly if they are in the same place in life, have children the same age, also have autistic children, those supports can be really helpful for parents. So when we designed our program, we really wanted to be able to ensure that we could deliver formal supports to families, regardless of where they live, regardless if they have financial ability to provide these. And we wanted to do it in a way that would hopefully minimize any time restrictions that they have. But we wanted to do that in a way where we were also connecting them to other families so that we could get the benefit of both the formal supports from our team and the informal supports of getting to work with other families who are experiencing some of the same things that they're experiencing. So the program's designed in two phases. Our first phase is what we call our routine ready workshop. This is a typical, what you think of as a training or a workshop. That's what it is. It's a 3-hour training. We designed it to kind of introduce parents to evidence-based practices, but in a way, oh gosh, this is jumping around. I'm so sorry. In a way that they can incorporate it into their daily lives. So what we are not is we are not a training that's going to tell you, okay, I need you to carve out 45 minutes every night and you and your child are going to sit at the table and you're going to become their teacher for, an hour a night or 30 minutes a night. That is not what we do at all. Nothing's wrong with that, but it was not our goal. Our goal was to create something we have all these practices that are really effective at supporting kids who are learning new communication skills, or supporting kids who are struggling to get some tasks done through the day, or struggling with morning routine. We have these things at work. So we created a training that teaches parents how we can embed these effective practices into everyday routines. So the entire training is just about what you can really simply incorporate into just your daily activities, changing up your morning routine a little bit, maybe changing up your after school routine just a little bit to make that routine and that family event more successful for mom, dad, kids, everybody. So we're going to teach you about some evidence-based practices. It's going to be really interactive. We're going to do a lot of planning on how this could work specifically for your family. Our goal is to have about 15 to 20 parents at each of our trainings because we want to build those informal supports. So you're going to get to meet other families, other parents, and hopefully build some relationships that could benefit you as well. Like I said, our focus is entirely on what is really easy for parents to implement. We do deliver those trainings in person and virtually. Thus far, we're fairly early in the project. We've only delivered in person, and we are beginning to roll out our virtual trainings this summer. And I believe June is our first virtual training. So hopefully we can come to your area, but if we can't, virtual is an option. So a little bit about what's included in the training. We kind of have 3 focus areas. The first is how to foster play skills. And we talk about play skills when your child is, playing alone by themselves, and play skills when they need to share or take turns, which is, really important, particularly if they have a sibling or cousins or friends that are frequently over. So we teach you some ways to easily improve those routines. And then we go into kind of general routines. So toothbrushing, getting dressed in the morning, coming home and doing your homework in the afternoon, the chores that you might have in the afternoon. How do we make those really smooth and successful? So we help families identify some routines they want to work on, how we can make those easier for your child. If you make them easier for your child, they end up being a little bit easier for you as the parent. What do we do if your child doesn't actually have the skills yet? So you really want them to start making some snacks for themselves after school, but they don't know how. How can we easily incorporate some teaching to help you teach your child how to make that snack? And then we end on preventing problem behavior. So how do we give kids really clear expectations, and how do we reward and celebrate all the positive behaviors that we want to see? So that's what's included in that training. Now, anyone who's ever done any training whatsoever knows you go to the training and you feel awesome about it at the end of that 3 hours, right? You're like, oh, I can totally do this. And then you go home or you go to work if it's a work training and you try to do it and you're like, what did she say? Or this didn't work how I thought it would. What should I do now? So we don't want to leave parents at training and done, good luck. In full disclosure, our parents who come to our trainings, some of them have 3-year-olds, some of them have 18-year-old children. Some of them have children who are communicating with pictures and speech generating devices. Some of their children are communicating with full sentences. So the breadth of needs and the family types and structures, some have 1 child, some have 5 children, so we're giving you like the layout of some really good things to incorporate in your home. But the reality is there's a lot of individualization to that when it comes to your family, your child. So we want to help support you. What you learned in training, how do we make that work in your home and your unique situation? And that's where coaching comes in. So we offer every family that has completed training to join us for coaching. One option is small group coaching. So these are parents who might just need a little help getting it to work in their home. We're going to meet 4 times. We're going to meet virtually. It's going to be with a small group of parents. 2 of those meetings will be with your small group, and 2 of them will be one-on-one with your parent coach. And we're just kind of helping you facilitate, troubleshoot if there are some supplies you need, like say you want to do a visual schedule for your child, we can make that for you, send it in the mail to you. So it's just a little bit of help to get you started. Parents, oh, I forgot to say, anyone who finishes our workshop, we provide you with a $40 gift certificate, typically to Amazon, but we've got some other options. Just for completing the training, we know that it took time out of your day, so we give you a $40 gift card for completing that. For coaching, we give you a $50 gift card if you complete our parent coaching program, the small group parent coaching. Our other option are parents who really want a lot more support. So our one-on-one parent coaching is 2 to 4 months. You'll meet with your parent coach once or twice a week, whatever works for your family. And you're going to be meeting them at the times that you need help. So if morning time is when you really want help getting some smooth routines into your family's morning, that's when we'll meet with you. If it's dinner time where you want some help making things a little bit easier for everyone, then the coach will join your family at dinner time once a week. And it's the same thing. We're going to help really individualize these practices for what works for you, what works for your child. We'll help you troubleshoot. If you need materials that we can make for you, we will create those. We'll pop them in the mail to you. The one-on-one coaching, Parents are going to work on 3 goals that they have for their child. And if they finish those 16 sessions with us, they get a $100 gift certificate for doing the training. Now, both of these parent coaching options are virtual. We can loan you technology. So if you have a laptop or a tablet at home and you have Wi-Fi or cellular service with those, and you want to use those are great. Some of our families don't have those. We can mail you a tablet, headphones if you need them. We can do that. Some parents have them, but they just don't want to use their personal device for this. So we can loan you that technology as well. We can mail that to you, and then you just return it when your coaching sessions are over. And again, any of the supplies you need, if maybe you want to start a reward chart in your family, we can make that for you, mail it to you, and get it put into place. I know for myself, my son has a reward chart at home. And I just can never seem to find the time to update it when we need to update the new things that he's receiving rewards for. It's like, oh God, the amount of effort to just go to the computer and update that reward chart seems unbearable for some reason. So let your coach do that for you. We will do that for you. We'll try to make this as easy as possible. So a little bit about us. Brianna's here, but I wanted to introduce the graduate students and faculty on the project. Besides myself, Dr. Jessica Akers and Dr. Jennifer Robbins are on the project. Dr. Akers is also faculty in our ABA program. But one of the cool things about Jessica is she has 2 autistic siblings. So she grew up in a family that had children with autism. So she has a really great perspective from having lived as a sibling, living in a family. Who has experienced some of the things that our families are experiencing. Dr. Robbins has done some work in Twice Exceptional with Twice Exceptional children and has a lot of experience running really big parent support programs. So we're really lucky to have 3 faculty on the project. We also have several doctoral students. So Beza Satine, Julie Robble, and Kelsey Sparks are 3 doctoral students who are studying various areas of intervention with children and adults with disabilities. Beza, before she came to us, was a special education teacher. Both Julie and Kelsey have years of experience working with children and adults with autism. And so they do a lot of our parent trainings and a lot of our coaching. And we have 2 of our master students, Ilse and Sneha, who also have experience working in clinical settings, working with parents, working with children with autism in a variety of settings. And they do a lot of our training and our coaching as well. One of our really cool things right now, both Ilse and Sneha are bilingual. Ilse speaks fluent Spanish. And so this summer, we're going to have our first Spanish parent training and parent coaching with Ilse leading that for us. So we've got several events coming up. This weekend, we're going to be in Katy, Texas, and next week in Caldwell, and then we're headed to College Station. So our goal is to hit all over the state, wherever we can go, whoever will house us for 3 hours, we will be there. So these are just our April and our May trainings. If you go to our website, and I'll leave this QR code up for a little bit, the picture to the right is what you'll see at first. If you scroll down and you go to register for parent training, you'll be able to see additional trainings. I will tell you, as of right this moment, I have not got our website person to update with our summer events. So if you're really interested in a virtual training this summer or the Spanish virtual training this summer, maybe wait until next week to check out that website, and we'll have those events listed where you can register there. We are also on Facebook, and we post about upcoming events on Facebook and on Instagram as well. You can find where we're headed next. And one last thing I did not say on our website, if you are on the fence, you think, maybe I'm interested in this, maybe it'll come to my area soon. I'm not ready to register, there is an option where you can subscribe to our newsletter, and every week we send out our newsletter to let people know what upcoming opportunities are going to be on the horizon. So that'll at least give you the opportunity to know, hey, what's coming up? When might you be here? Or, I want to know about this, but maybe not right now. It'll at least keep you in the know. So that's it about our program. And I think that gives us a few minutes. If anyone has questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, no, this is great information. And I was seeing you're going to be here, like you said, you're going to be in Katy this weekend
Yes,
at the Arc of Katy, and that's wonderful.
yes,
We'd love to have
yeah.
you come down and do training for our parents as well
We
sometime.
we
So,
would love that. We would absolutely love that.
so
So,
what is the well, I'll get to that here in a
mhm.
second, just about maybe having what a good time is to come down for, especially in this area, because is it anybody that's is it only the members of, like, for example, the Arc of Katy, they're there, it's just open to anybody who in that area wants to sign up for it?
Right, that has really been up to our video hosts. So far, all the people who have hosted us, have opened it up to the public outside of the families that they serve.
Okay,
Now, whatever you guys want to do would be fine with us.
okay,
We try
great.
to get, our goal is to get 10 to 20 parents at each training, simply to be good stewards of the resources that the
Sure.
state of Texas have poured into us, So we
Yes.
try to get 10. We've trained fewer than 10, and I'm sure we would do it again. But that's kind of where our goal is, 10 to 20. If the organization thinks they have 10 to 20 easily within their, families that they serve, then no need to reach out to others or to open to others. But if you want, that's great too. We'll do whatever.
Okay.
We're flexible.
So since this is for anybody who's maybe watching it
Mhm.
either live for us or watches it by this weekend, are there still spaces available at the
There are.
Arc of Katy event?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we still have spaces available in Katy, so please feel free to join us. You go online, you can register. That helps us immensely because then we've got all of your information to send you that gift card at the end and to contact you about parent coaching. However, if you are watching this and it is, 30 minutes before it starts, just head on over to Katy. We're fine. We can get you to register once you get there. We're not that picky. So,
Okay, very good. So actually, while we're speaking, could we have that so would it be that QR code that you had on your presentation that it would
yeah,
be
let me
how
see
they
if
would
I can.
register?
Yeah, let me share this
We'll
again.
just keep that up on the screen so in case people
Yeah,
want to
yeah, let me get it up on that
snap a
screen real
picture of it.
fast.
Thank you for that.
So yeah, go to our website. Oh, goodness, the button keeps moving on me. Go to our website and then go to the register for parent training, and you can register for that Katie training there. Yeah,
Wonderful. And then check out the other locations too. Maybe you've got
exactly.
a friend or somebody who lives somewhere else in the state and they've got another training that's coming close to them or
Yeah,
posted.
absolutely. Yeah, send them our way. The challenging thing, you get these grants, they're usually 2 years in length, and this is, I think, our sixth or seventh that we've had the opportunity to be funded by the state. And each project, it feels like just telling parents about it. It just takes so long to find the families and let them know. So we're super grateful. Word of mouth, passing this along, really helps us out because we've developed this. We want to be able to help families, but sometimes it's hard to get that word out. So we're so grateful for you guys helping us do that.
Absolutely. So one of the things I was noticing too, so the age group, I heard you mention from youngers all the way up to
Mhm.
18-year-olds. So the different strategies and different ideas that you all are sharing, it's not necessarily just for the youngers who are learning how to play and communicate in that way, right?
Exactly. So you will see when we go to our website, we're technically serving children, which is 2 to 17. This
Okay.
is what I tell families. I don't ask for a kid's birthday. So, if your child's 20, I really wouldn't know. So, but if your child is not living in your home and probably older than a young adult, I don't know if this would be all that applicable.
Right. Okay.
But if your child's still living at home and you think that working on these routines and these topics would be beneficial, sign on up. We're technically we are designed for 2 to 17, but is there a big difference between an 18-year-old still living at home? No. Come on, come join us. We'd love to have you. Yeah.
Can you give an example of maybe some of the common things that a family comes to you all with, and their concerns, and some of the things that you all would be addressing in a training?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of our families, excuse me, in our trainings really just want their day-to-day lives to be simpler, calmer, more peaceful. And for some of those, that's like their mornings are really stressful, so they want help with that. Some of them it's the afternoons, or some of them their children just homework is a battle, So those are most of the things that we're seeing our families, really reach out and ask for help with, is how do we just make this easier for everybody, easier for mom, easier for kid. So that's what we're seeing the most help with. We are fairly new in delivering our trainings, so I think we're on our third or fourth training, and our first set of parents start coaching next week. So as far as what families are getting help for with coaching, it's to be determined. But in the trainings, it seems that most of the things parents are bringing up are just kind of the day-to-day things that are just constant struggles or battles that are things you got to do every day, but have been hard for their family to kind of navigate in a peaceful and successful way.
Yeah. Speaking with a parent just the other day, I'm kind of it's coming to mind about a struggle that another parent had just with a young son, 6-year-old, who needs kind of that, a lot of um, he will do a lot of banging. He needs kind of that, I don't know what they call proprioceptive, that impact, right? So are there strategies or things that you can share with families who maybe they're hearing from other people who are complaining about the noise because this particular person needs that kind of input?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually start off our training with, we call it downtime upgrade. So when your child just has some downtime, and they may be choosing to do something that is not safe or not healthy, or just something that you don't want them to do, how can we make that downtime play? How can we upgrade that? So we talk a lot about how do we enrich our environment? How do we set some really clear expectations, what to do during your free time? How do we enrich that free time in a way that is safe, but also enjoyable? And then how do we make sure we're celebrating when it works? Because one of the things I talk a lot, I have a 6-year-old, so I talk a lot about some of the things that I struggle with. One of the things I struggle with is when my son's doing what I want him to do, I forget to celebrate it. So I'm like, yippee, I could get the dishes done, and I kind of like leave him alone, and I don't celebrate those successes with him. So he's probably going to go back to the thing that did get my attention, right? So we talk a lot. We give parents some really good strategies about, like, okay, we've now got some successful we've upgraded downtime. It's working well, but we can't forget to celebrate and let your kid know that they're doing it. They're doing what we want them to. They're succeeding. And so we give some parents some strategies too about how do we remind ourselves, like, don't go, yippee, I can watch 30 minutes of TV and forget about this, and then it falls apart, So we give them some strategies about programming and some celebrations too.
All right, wonderful. Okay, well, thanks for that bit of information about the strategies that you share as well. I see we do have a question on our chat about a particular parent has a daughter on the spectrum and developmentally delayed. She's minimally verbal and has some sensory issues, but also just functionally is about like at 4 years old chronologically, or excuse me, developmentally, even though she's chronologically 14. There's a question about training and calming down and scheduling. I'm sorry, so it's calm down, scheduling are not really issues. But she's trying to figure out if the coachings would be beneficial for their particular family.
I think so. So we are open to addressing any goals that you have as long as two things. One, that we think we can safely do it. So we have not encountered this yet, but we do have limits. If your child's exhibiting some really significant aggression or self-injury that is likely to cause some harm or need some medical cause, injury that could require medical um, intervention, we don't want to do that virtually. We want you to have someone who is present with you for safety reasons. So that's one thing that we don't do, but we will guide you to other resources to help find you someone who can be in home and kind of help you maintain the safety. The other is, as long as your goal is something that we feel like we have the expertise, it falls in the range of an educational intervention is a match, then we're game. So some of the things that may not be like a match for us might be, if your child, if you have some gross motor, maybe um, you're wanting to work on like walking stability. That's really more of a physical therapy, medical thing. It's going to be outside of our expertise. But anything you think an education-based intervention could work, then we're ready to target it. And of course, we can let you know. If you have a real specific goal, we can say, oh, what, I think that'd be better to help you maybe find an occupational therapist who could work on that or a medical professional. And we'll try to connect you to those resources. But anything that sort of falls in the realm of a good match for an education intervention, we can help.
Yeah, the particular parent asks like they want to help with training on washing hands, brushing teeth, washing the face, toilet, kind of all that,
That is right up our alley.
morning routine.
That is exactly what our training, the majority of our training are those kind of routine things. So yes, absolutely, that'd be a great fit.
Okay, and for those just joining too, the training is also offered both in person, but also virtually. And we just so happen to have coming here this weekend, as you said, it's this Saturday on April the 12th, 2024.
Saturday from 1 to 4 at the Ark of Katy.
The Ark of Katy, you would visit right now on the screen. There is the visit our website. You would scan that QR code. You would go to their website and sign up for that training that is going to be held in person at the Ark of Katy this Saturday, April the 12th at 1 o'clock. And you can sign up there. But we will, there are also other trainings coming up. So that is not the only and last one. So you can look at the full schedule on their website as well. You mentioned about kind of that educational component too. And I know, like you mentioned, you also are training future special education teachers. So as parents receiving this training, maybe are there also times maybe that the integration or generalization between things that they're working on at home and things how to work on some of those same skills at school and maybe helping give some input with the IEP? Is that anything that you guys may be involved in?
I think we could. So we actually, the last training we did, we were at an Easter Seals, and they've actually written and said, can you work with her daycare workers? So we're trying to do that. One caveat. So if you have a teacher, a paraprofessional, any person in your life, anyone is welcome to attend our trainings. We can only give the gift card to families who have children with autism because it was designed for that and to follow, the grant protocol. But so anyone could come to the training. In terms of like getting involved, getting like your teacher or a therapist involved, we're open to any of that. Like if your child's teacher wants to join us on one of the coaching sessions, or even at the beginning, our first two sessions, we're usually just kind of getting to know you and your goals. If you want to have your child's teacher or therapist join us, awesome. Like that would be wonderful. And we could work collaboratively. That would be great. I don't envision us being someone who maybe would attend an IEP meeting simply because our parent coaches, um, not all of them have that,
Yeah.
kind of procedural knowledge that I don't know if that would be the best use of their time or expertise. But certainly, any reports we give you at the end, bring those to your IEP meetings, and general questions. I think we could help with. Some of our team have special ed training and experience. I'm one of those. I was a special ed teacher before I was a professor, but not all of them do. So some of that just kind of more technical legal stuff with IEPs. I wouldn't want you to rely on our coaches because they're not experts in terms of advocacy and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, great. No, it's good to know just that parents can have that, because we hear a lot about that generalization, the skills that they're
Mhm.
learning, and at home, and how to get them to repeat that at school.
Absolutely. That we can definitely work on.
Very
Absolutely.
good. And these trainings are 3 hours long, correct? The
Mhm.
initial training, but then there's coaching that goes on afterwards. So if you missed the first part of the training, I encourage you to go back and watch this again. Tanya, are you able to share maybe some of the flyers or other information I can share with families and send that to me? And I'll send this out to everybody who registered.
Yes, yes. I will get that to you
Video.
this afternoon. I'll send it in an email. Kind of got like a little, I say a generic flyer, as in
Yes.
it's not specific to one training location, just a flyer about us. And I will get that to you today. So you can send that out.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Are there any other questions about family care? Oh, one of the questions I just saw in the chat is regarding this Saturday at the Ark of Katie. May I bring my daughter with me, or is this only for the parent, the initial training? Is that for just?
That's a wonderful question. So we do not have childcare at the training. So I think it's better if you are able to attend and not have to be parent and workshop attendee at the same time. Um, but your child, if your child would be happy, you know, sitting next to you, reading a book, playing on a tablet, whatever. And if that's going to go smoothly for you, I certainly don't mind, but just know coming in, we cannot provide childcare, and that's actually a kind of a legal issue because we are not licensed childcare providers. Even if I wanted to provide childcare, it would be inappropriate for me to do so,
So this initial 3 hour training is
Mhm.
is really geared towards the parent for you to kind of
Yes,
soak up that knowledge. And then the
exactly.
coachings later on is when it's you with your child.
Exactly,
Implement. Okay.
exactly. Yes. And I do hate, I know that that can be prohibitive for families that we don't have childcare. It is a university rule that I am not allowed to offer. Otherwise, I would. I just want you to know, I know it's hard to get childcare. And if I could offer it, I would have, but we have our hands tied not being a licensed provider, to be able to do that. And also,
Understood.
why we do in the summer, we will start offering virtual training so that those of you who may not be able to secure childcare to come to an in-person training, a virtual may be a better option for you.
Yeah, so there's both of those options again for either the in-person or virtual that's coming up. You would visit their website. I know as we sit today, the things going on this summer, the summer programs are not quite up on the website yet, but
Mhm.
give a week or so and check out the website again, and there will be more trainings coming up. Well, Tanya and Brianna, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time and sharing this program, and thanks for doing it.
Thank you so much for hosting us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having us. We really, really appreciated getting the word out.
Absolutely. All right, guys.